right, we are back with OTG, where we highlight people, places, and things. I have another person who I am so excited to introduce to you guys. Miss Manhattan herself. Or sorry,
Misshattan.
Miss Manhattan is
We
like
just
rising.
met yesterday, so I know I'm not offended by it at all.
for me-
I'm obsessed with this woman. I just have to
You are
say,
the Miss Manhattan. Like, you are the queen of New York in
Thank
my
you.
eyes, especially when it comes to photography.
thank you.
Oh my God, I forgot to tell you.
What?
Guess who sat there as my first interview?
Who? Oh my God.
The minister.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think you were gonna be able to pull that one off.
I can't believe it happened. Like, he sat down and we'll definitely talk to you. But I knew like that you'd be so excited about that.
Of course, because this woman yesterday, like courageously, she just went up to him and started a conversation, and I was really impressed. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I was blessed with 4.5 minutes of his time. So
It's so funny.
it's crazy.
I didn't want to be a negative person, but I was like, I don't know if you're gonna get him tomorrow. Like, it's so many people here. Like,
0% got my
how are
hopes
you
up.
gonna do it? How'd you do it?
You
saw him?
He came in and he was like around, and then of course Sheffo, being the coordinator that he is, like grabbed the press secretary that he was with, and she planned the interview. And like literally, I was the last thing. Like, we didn't think it was gonna happen. He made his rounds, and Sheffo like went back and like stalked them.
I am
And he,
so
like,
proud
ran
of you.
over here.
That is
It's crazy.
wild.
And we got to talk to him a little bit about NFTs and like what he thinks about blockchain. But they really are setting the tone here, I think, as far as like the government stuff. But that's so boring. We're not going to talk about any of that stuff.
I'm so hyped for you. I just want to know everything. Tell me everything.
Okay, well, I'm hyped for you, and I'm hyped to know you.
Yeah, we just became best friends yesterday.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that we just met each other
Oh,
like less than 24 hours ago,
I know.
actually. Okay, Miss Hatton.
yes.
A
Yes.
photography icon, as far as I'm concerned. You had your talk today. How did that go?
It went really well. You know, it's funny. It was a quick talk, right? And it was 4 of us. So we have 30 minutes. Or
Okay.
25, 30 minutes.
Yes.
And like, it takes like 10 minutes to like just get that comfort, that mojo kind of flowing.
It does.
So it took some time, but it was great. Everybody says it was great, so it was great.
Okay, good. I literally couldn't get upstairs to see the talk because of the lines.
The
So
line
it must have been
is
massive.
crazy here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
NFT Paris.
So when you were talking from the main stage, was it packed? Like, was the room packed?
Fully packed.
No. Okay.
Can I show you a photo that somebody took?
Of course, you can show me the photo.
So incredible. I want to get it printed
Okay, so that was
because
packed up there. I'm telling you, from down here on the first floor, there was 2 lines into both doors. I couldn't get through them. Oh my God.
it's a photo of us on stage with
That
the
is
Eiffel
epic. You
Tower
can send that to me. I'll
in
clip
the
it into
background.
video.
Yes.
That is gorgeous.
Somebody tweeted it at me and I was just so grateful.
Well, photography obviously is like very important to you.
Oh man.
I
of
do
course.
want to highlight you as a person who is not only, involved in NFTs, but a woman who is empowering other women who's in NFTs as well, just by being here.
Yes.
I think it's really important. But when did you get your start, I think, in photography? And then like, when did that transition into NFTs?
Oh, so we're really going to become best friends after we're getting to know each other.
We're going in.
Going in. Okay, I love this. I always loved photography. I
Okay.
love photography. I love filmmaking. I just loved creating. I love to cook. Anything I can get my hands on, creates it. Like, I just love to be creative.
Yes.
But I obviously I went to school for finance. I didn't think,
Wow.
yeah, I didn't think, my parents are immigrants. Me telling them I want to be an artist full time definitely is not.
Yeah, mom and dad were like,
they,
what does that mean?
Right, exactly. They're like, what are you gonna do? So I got a job at JP Morgan in the research department in investment banking.
Wow.
I was doing that for 3 years straight out of college. So I was the youngest one in the office.
Oh my
Learned
gosh.
a lot. I learned a lot. It was
Let's
pretty
go.
wild. Yeah.
I love that.
It was like a rough but beautiful experience, like.
Well, and I feel like having a finance background is good for like all aspects of your life, probably.
Absolutely.
You at least like have your own back.
Absolutely.
In that sense,
I'm learning that like every experience that you go through in life, like even school, like you don't remember anything you learned at school, but it's not. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't need to go to school. Why? Like, I'm not going to want to do any of this. But it's not about what you learn. It's about the process of learning it and the tools that you learn along the way. I feel like that's what kids should learn. Like, is knowing that you have a deadline. This is what you need to do, and these are
like how you have to show up.
Right.
This is like what it's gonna take to turn something in.
Right.
And then like also even like guess like proving like you have to be in the room with people.
Right.
You have to collaborate with people.
Have to get to know the people around you.
And thanks for saying like you don't remember anything. Like I literally like feel the same way. I'm in France. I took 3 years of French in high school, and I'm just like, no idea. I've been trying this whole time to like, people can see it in my eyes, like squint a little and like trying to find which sentence I'm going to say to people, but all I have is like bonjour and merci beaucoup. So we're trying. But that is so cool. So you go from finance. How does that transition into photography?
So I've always been a photographer. I've always loved shooting. It was my hobby. I loved it.
Wow.
You know, it was my passion. When I was working in the city in Manhattan in Midtown, I would bring my camera every day to work because it was just so beautiful. Like, you could always see something new, whether it's like a high perspective with different client meetings that I'd go to. It was just an opportunity to shoot. Anyways, a friend of mine, recommended I download Instagram.
Okay.
And I did. And I would share my photos, think nothing of it. It wasn't what it is today. Now people know, like, trying to get followers. Like, no, it wasn't like that. But it was pretty rad that, like, I was building a community of people who loved photography.
Wow.
And, I didn't realize at the time, but I was reaching people globally on such a massive scale that, like,
wow,
it really changed things for me, slowly but surely my following started to pick up and brands started to notice me and different clients and people who needed photographers would notice me. So as like a part-time gig, I would work a 9 to 5. Well, it was more like 7 in the morning till 6. So 7 to 6, long hours, depending on when.
Been there,
earnings
been
was-
there.
Yeah. And then after I would shoot either before work, after work, or sometimes during my lunch break. One of my first big brand deals that had to do with social media was Oscar Healthcare.
Oh,
so not cool. It gets cooler though, I promise.
Look at that, sponsorship is still going today. Shout out to Oscar Healthcare.
Well, the reason I bring Oscar up is because it was my first branded post, and they brought me a woman to photograph, and I went during my lunch break.
Okay.
Took her to Grand Central, and I did like a slow shutter, so everyone around her was moving. I had her stay still, and it was just a really cool shot. They loved it, and with that, they recommended me to other clients.
Wow.
Which ultimately, led me to work with Jaguar, the car brand.
Fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, they flew me out to London. I went to a car reveal, and I came back super inspired, and they loved meeting me and talking to me, and they somehow would give me a car every weekend. So I'm like a 23-year-old like with new Jaguars, like insane.
Like all different, like new Jaguars, like all different types.
Any type I wanted.
They were just like what? Oh, just for
anyone that I wanted to shoot with.
Okay, so you're like a Jag-sponsored photographer.
Yeah, so then I built this.
God, that is sick. What is your favorite? What's your favorite Jag?
The F type. I mean, I'm into the sports cars, really dope. I mean, Jaguar, Jaguar Land Rover, it's the same company, so it was really, really cool. Anyways, they had asked me, what car do you want to shoot with? They like let me pick, and I was like, I want a red F type.
Wow.
What I just mentioned.
Of course. Classic.
Friday after work, they dropped off the keys. I was shooting with it all weekend. Then I was like, you know what? I want some iconic New York City photographs of this car. Sunday, midnight to 6 in the morning, I was shooting out all night.
Oh my God.
I was parked in the middle of Times Square, like getting out the car,
with
parked
the F-type?
with the F-type, shooting it. Cops would pull up, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'd show them my camera. Officer, I'm sorry, I'm just taking a photograph." Like
Instagram.
These are like, nah, like nice car. How'd you get that? I was a young girl doing this.
Wow, that is so inspiring.
Anyways, wait, I'm not done. Sorry, I don't want to ramble.
No,
but...
ramble.
Okay. So then I get back to the office. Did not sleep. I dropped my stuff off at home. Went straight to the office. Did not sleep. Sat at my desk, and I was just so angry because it was the first time I didn't bring my camera to work. So like all the pictures that I took that night, I couldn't see them because I didn't bring my camera. I was so like, I was getting so anxious. And then all of a sudden it just like hit me. I'm like, I don't belong here.
You left.
I go to my friend Christine. She was my closest friend at the time, and I was like, "Hey, I think I want to resign." It's like, "Girl, you haven't slept. Like, why don't you go home, sleep it off, see how you feel in the morning?" I'm like, "All right, that's the logical thing to do. Good idea. Okay." The second I sat back at my desk, I
Oh
was
my
like
gosh.
sweating. I couldn't like. And I
Wow.
felt it in me. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna do it right now. If I don't do it right now, I'll never do it.
Mm-hmm.
I got up and I resigned.
Oh my God, that's so amazing. I love it when people have that like
It's an
not just a
epiphany.
gut feeling, but like a trust in
Right.
it. Like you totally seem like that person. That is just like the second you get even the whiff of something else happening that you need.
Funny
Yeah.
because that day before that Friday, like
Mhm.
I would have never thought that would be, that I'd be resigning anytime soon or anything like that. Like, yes, it would always be a dream of mine to do this full time, but can I do it? Can I
Oh my God, but the moment
make
that
a
thing was
living?
parked on Times Square, it's like your life changed, you know?
Yeah, that car changed my life. Shout out to Jaguar.
And then like, new Miss Hatton like couldn't go back to like old Miss Hatton's workplace because new Miss Hatton was like making a whole new
Yes.
name for herself.
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, now you're getting into photography. You're really trusting yourself. Where do NFTs come into the mix?
Oh my God. NFTs happened to me during COVID,
Okay,
during the
yes.
pandemic.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's late in the game or not. Probably is. 2020, 2021, and
Same
not for
time as me about.
yeah, and not for nothing. I was like super intimidated. I was like, nobody really knows who I am. People still don't know who I am. People
They will
don't
now.
know.
They will now.
Hopefully we'll see what happens. You never know. But yeah, it was just such an interesting concept. At
Mhm.
first, when people first told me about it, I was like, you can't pay me enough to for me to sell you
Yeah.
my JPEGs, like high resolution JPEGs. Fuck no, like I'm keeping that. And then I started learning more about it, and I was like, wow, this is pretty incredible, and it's so great for artists and for people who are like underprivileged or in communities that don't have
Yes.
much, and in all parts of the world. So I just fully supported it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And now you're speaking at conferences.
Now I'm speaking at conferences. I'm not even that mage though. Like I said, people know, like some people know
I
who I am and they find my story interesting and they like that's why I'm able to do that. But like
Yes.
in the NFT world, I feel like people like I'm still trying to break
it
barriers,
takes, yeah, it takes a lot of sound sometimes to
Yeah.
break through those barriers. One of the things that you had told me that really stood out to me, I think everybody's very familiar with, Drifter Shoots and the
Oh,
types
he's
of
incredible.
incredible. Yes, big supporters of
Shout out to
Drifter
Drift.
Shoots. Yeah, shout out Drift. He has these awesome, iconic photos. If you don't know about him, where he's on bridges and he's dangling his feet off things. He's climbing big tall buildings and doing stuff. But I heard from you that you have been like doing that type of photography, like that kind of daredevil stuff for like a couple of years. Like
Definitely not on Drift's level in terms of like scaling like bridges and
the
shit like
bridge thing
that.
is so scary.
We used to do buildings and stuff, and then with that came aerial photography, which I
Okay.
shooting from open door helicopters.
Wow.
And so in 2013,
I'm like imagining you like with one hand hanging out, like you with the
Yeah.
door with the other one. Like
I would literally surf on the rails of
wow.
Hardeston. So worst case, I just dangle, which I kind of is a
That
dream
is
of mine.
so badass.
Kind of
I
a
don't know
dream.
anyone that could do that.
You could do it. You could do it. We're gonna have to maybe do that.
Figure out some dangling helicopter awesome
Yes.
thing. That is so freaking cool.
So we like started that trend
Yeah.
of dangling the feet, and then you see all these like urban photographers throughout the years dangle their feet from buildings and
Mhm.
anywhere they can. So
that
pretty cool.
is epic. That is like a story that really stood out to me. That's something I feel like people should know about you, because like it's hard at times when you're just like creating and you're just being so amazing.
Yeah.
Like to not have another person like saying like, well, look at this amazing person. It's like sometimes it can feel like it just goes unnoticed. But I know that all of like your story and the work that you've put in and like what it's brought you to now, like is gonna pay off in the sense of like I feel like a lot more people getting to know you and your story and stuff too. Like sometimes it just takes a little bit longer. But
Well,
like it's epic.
here's the thing. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Like I've been here, I've been about this life.
Yes, yes.
You know, this is just an extension of what I do. I've been printing my work forever, and this is just another form of that. And I'm just really excited.
Well, I'm so excited too, and I'm excited to get to know you more in
me
this industry,
too.
and like as a person, I think you're so fantastic.
I think you're incredible.
I'm excited to see more of your photography. Photography is so special because even like places like this, you're gonna have like moments that you capture that just like encapsulate what this whole event meant, and just this one like still image. And I commend you for being someone who has the vision that can do that.
Thank you.
It's pretty rare,
And
I
look at
think.
you're documenting like you are killing it.
Oh, we're documenting. We're documenting.
I
but
love
more
it.
from like the voice, because I feel like we want to make this a place that how can you join a room that you don't know about if you can't even hear what the conversation is that's
Absolutely.
happening? At least this way, like, you guys can see that there's people who are super creative in their own right, and then also found NFTs and have gotten involved in this industry, in this community,
Yeah.
and we all find each other somehow, some way. So
Let me tell you, NFTs kind of revived me because
I feel
when
the same.
COVID first started, I was, obviously it was a really sad situation, but I was like relieved that like I wasn't moving as much as I was. I was literally traveling nonstop for that whole year.
Oh, wow.
So I was happy to just stay in one place, not leave my apartment, and call it a day.
Yes.
But then, 6 months pass and you wake up and you're a little sad and you don't know why. And then you like look back and you're like, well, what did I do throughout this time? And, you as an artist, it limits you and it limited your creativity. And then,
oh my gosh, and then limited human connection for everybody.
like,
Like I feel
it changed everything.
I'm like pretty much like I'm out there doing all this, and I'm at huge conventions, but I'm like at home. I'm a homebody.
Right. Same.
Yes, I think it did hit me as well. Like a few weeks in, where I was like, "Oh my god, I need other
Yes.
people. Like, I just need to see them. Even if I don't talk to them, I just need to
Yes.
go out.
Yes.
And, you need to see people through the lens of your camera. Like, it was definitely interesting, and I feel like a revival for me as well, like through NFTs, because it also like brought digital community to my life. So maybe if I wasn't with friends in person, I got to meet people online
Right.
too. Okay, so like I feel like I could just talk to you for hours. I
Yeah.
do want to do a longer form interview with you. I think it'd
Okay.
be so much fun where we can
Yeah.
just kind of gab about
I
everything.
love that.
I know this is a little bit more NFT based for all of our folks at home that want to learn a little bit more about this community. So in that, what would you say to someone who has never heard about NFTs or doesn't know about it at all and is like maybe watching this video for their first time as their entry point?
I would say that if you're interested, definitely put the time in to learn about what it is, right? And then if you want to participate, jump right in. Like, don't be scared.
That's
Don't
such good advice.
like it can seem scary. It's very, male dominated, but anybody can participate. Men, women, people of color, no
Yeah.
matter where you live, where you're from,
Yep.
anybody can join.
It's inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like jump right in is just like such
Yeah.
a great piece of advice. Like no one's gonna stop you. You'll never have like enough knowledge that you'll feel comfortable just to go. You have to just go the whole time
Yes,
to
absolutely.
learn. Well, it has been such a pleasure. I
feel the
can't
same way.
believe I couldn't get through a line to see your talk, but I'm gonna watch it later, and I'm so excited to watch that.
Good, baby girl. I'm just so happy I got to meet you.
I'm so happy I got to meet
Yes.
you, and we will have many more hangs.
Yes, we
And
will.
To everybody at home, thank you guys so much again for joining us at OTG, where we highlight people, places, and things, and we will be seeing you soon.
You killed it. You're so good.
Oh, you're so good.